Should the 49ers have gone with Tom Brady this year?
Now that we know this, yes. Yeah. I mean, once again, I'm not going to try to sound like a hypocrite because I did say the 49ers shouldn't go after Brady. Thought it was, especially the way he went out in that playoff game. Just figured like, all right, maybe Garoppolo would take that leap, and Brady's ascending. You got to think long term. But man, if you had signed Brady, a lot of butterfly effects, everything would have been changed. I know a lot of people I see, like I'm reading some articles saying like Brady probably gets hurt behind this offensive line. And I do not think that's the case. I don't think it's absolute. I wouldn't rule it out, but I don't think it's absolute because what's the game he got injured on? The MetLife game? He's played at MetLife for 100 years now. He knows something how to tell his team about little tips and tricks. Just look at the way how he talks to his team about how he's sending texts, how he has his hands all over every player, not just the offense, the defense, that's how much he wants to win. Garoppolo's not like that. I mean, and I know Kyle Shanahan might not have liked a player of his caliber, like maybe overstepping his authority, but if it's the GOAT, of course you're going to listen to him, let him have some say, like the way Bruce Arians said that, hey, Brady in New England wasn't able to unleash like his full ability potential to be himself. He was capped to a degree, and that makes sense because it's Belichick. So personally to me, I think he just would have had so much more say. Maybe you draft Tristan Wirfs instead of making that trade for Trent Williams and instead of drafting Javon Kinlaw. So now you really solidify what he can do. So you're not as shaky. And then you bring in Gronk. I mean, I just feel like everything would have made so much more easier for this team. Not as many injuries. Of course, a lot of it's variable, but I just think it would have been a drastic change. And I do think they probably could have even been to the Super Bowl and heck, even won it.
Yeah, I was so wrong on Brady. And one of the reasons why I wasn't really hot on him was because of the way that he looked in New England and what we saw, since really last, with this year and we should have looked at closer last year was the weapons that he didn't have while he was there and now he was carrying that team. If the 49ers had Tom Brady this year, I think they probably go 10-6, definitely 10-6. I think 11-5 might even have put themselves in that same position where Tampa Bay ended up playing Washington in the first round, and who knows what could have happened after that. But they definitely would have been a lot further and would have had a lot better year. And to Jose's point, as far as people saying that Brady would have got hurt behind this line, no, he wouldn't. He gets the ball out a lot faster than any of these other quarterbacks on the 49ers. So he would have protected himself with the way that he gets the ball out.
I think it's hard to deny that he would have improved this team. He definitely would have. He was $2 million more on the cap this year and would be another $2 million on the cap next year than Garoppolo. But let's just say you didn't know this Super Bowl happened. What was Brady before this season is he would be an elite game manager, as we thought from what he was with that last season in New England, where he struggled in New England. As Jack said, he didn't have any receivers to throw to. He would have much better options this year, so he would be an improvement. Plus, as people have reported, there was a possible first-round pick on the table for Garoppolo, possible second-round pick for Garoppolo. So not only do they have that first-round pick they got for Buckner if they do that trade, but they have another first-round pick they could have used on Austin Jackson, or they could have used on another offensive lineman or wide receiver, defensive back, whatever. And I think that would have improved the team just because you weren't sacrificing any assets to get Brady, and you would be getting assets for Garoppolo if there was a first or second round pick on the table. So it would make the team better. And also, how many times did the 49ers lose by a couple points because Nick Mullins couldn't hold on to the football, or the defense just couldn't hold on in the last second because the offense couldn't score enough points to help out the defense when they were doing well early on? They probably win that Philly game. They probably win that Dallas game. They probably win that Washington game. And then right there, that's a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, the Niners were 13-3 without they were 6-10 this year without Tom Brady. The Bucks were 7-9 the year before without Tom Brady. I think he could have taken him to the Super Bowl and won it with this team. He is a physical upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo. But the thing about Brady that I keep coming back to that makes him the greatest of all time, it's not really his physical skill set, although he's a great thrower and he has great pocket presence and all experience and all this stuff, but it's the leadership. He is the head coach. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Antonio Brown in particular. There is no head coach in the NFL that could keep him in line at any point. I mean, Tomlin gave up. Belichick gave up. Gruden gave up. Brady brings him on the team, and you don't hear anything. He's just the good soldier he was back in the day, and that's the Brady effect. If Brady's talking football in front of a team, commands more respect than any coach in the world. He's Tom freaking Brady. So that makes him the head coach. And as you said, he has the impact on the defense. He has his hands all over the team. That is the kind of the Peyton Manning effect. Like Peyton Manning took over a team, as Domain Threat is saying, it's the same reason the Niners didn't bring Manning in 2012. Harbaugh didn't want to give up. He wanted to be the head coach. If you bring in Brady, he's the head coach. You bring in Manning, he's the head coach. And you just have to be wise enough, like Arians, to be like, hey, thank you. I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn from you. And in the meantime, we're going to win championships, and I'll go to the Hall of Fame. So, that's why he's the coach. You could have had Antonio Brown. Like, I was always against the Niners going after Antonio Brown because Garoppolo can't keep in check.
Nope.
Derek Carr couldn't keep. Ben Roethlisberger couldn't keep. Brady can. So you bring in Brady, all kind of different. I mean, Leonard Fournette, same type of thing on a different scale. The league gave up on Fournette. He cleared waivers. Former number 4 pick goes to the Bucs, helps them win a Super Bowl. Brady keeps him in line, has him playing like he played at LSU. Man, yeah, they really blew it. That would have been the combination of Brady and Kyle Shanahan could have been so good. So
it's
good.
like with Brady, you get like this filter where it's like, hey, forget all the baggage he comes. When you have Brady, the only filter you get to see is just face value talent. And you also got to think about maybe Mike McGlinchey doesn't start crying about Twitter, about he's still here and stuff like that, because maybe Brady gets in his face like, what the hell was that? He starts checking him. That's that leadership you would have gotten, and then that solidification that they needed this year.
We're going to finish with this one here. David Velez, extremely generous. Thank you. You guys are all very generous. Thank you. David says 26 quarterbacks have started the Super Bowl in the last 20 years. Only 3 of them couldn't throw the ball deep outside the numbers. 2 of them won. Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson both had all-time great defenses. Would you guys agree with David Velez's statement?
I think I would have to actually look at back of all those ones, but I don't think it sounds wrong now.
Rex Grossman, I don't know if
he didn't win.
Oh, winning. Oh, okay.
Drew Brees doesn't really throw the ball down the field that much.
I think at that time he actually had some arms, maybe.
Yeah, he might be right. He might be right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he might be right now.
Peyton in that last Super Bowl, I don't know if he could throw outside the numbers necessarily.
True.
But my whole thing is just
had an all-time great defense, as David points out.
Yeah. Well, but with Brady, I think what you were saying about the sacrificing with Shanahan and what Harbaugh did with Peyton is, think of what the Bucs did. Now Bruce Arians, like you said, Hall of Fame coach. He's a Super Bowl winner. Like anything can go with him now. And then Byron Leftwich is going to be a head coach probably in the next 2 years. And Todd Bowles is probably going to be a head coach in the next 2 years. All because of signing one guy who kind of took the team from 7-9 to Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Final thing, Domain just slid this one in before we leave, and he's absolutely right. Brady also would have had the cojones to stand up to Kyle, which is what a quarterback needs in this system. Even Brad Johnson stood up to Gruden. I believe Matt Ryan stood up to Kyle Shanahan and pushed back. I totally agree. Kyle Shanahan is very, very abrasive, and I think he needs someone to stand. I don't think he even resents it. I think he expects it, and if you can't stand up to him, maybe you're not professional quality. So, yeah, great with the Domain Threat. You are the Domain MVP today. So thank you.
That's always good, though. You get that pushback. That way, you mix opinions. You can't just have one thing because then something grows stale. Then
everyone needs that. This show needs that. Good stuff, Domain. I agree. Kyle, if you're watching, and I know you are, think about it.